prepared to feel like some knife wounds or something. Cause you finna get shanked, you finna get stabbed, something's like something bad about that. You finna get gutted.
I don't want to shoot. I don't want to get shot or stabbed. But if we got beef and you see me and you say it's on sight, I throw them hands with you.
Yeah, the hands is different though, but it's like. If when you stab a nigga, that's personal.
You don't like me, so you want to hurt me like that. Oh, you trying to take me out the picture. What is wrong with you, good buddy?
Like you got that blade on you, though? you got that shield? Oh, man. You walk up on somebody, that's personal. That's personal.
That is, and it's like, man, that's crazy.
Cause a gun too easy. I don't gotta be. I could be like in a couple meters of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could pick you off with a pistol, but I gotta come to you like with this knife and just give it to you, bro. Like that's crazy. But that's like I said. That's how I heard UK dudes get down over there. That's how they get down. So I don't know.
That's crazy. Niggas don't want to fight no more, man. Niggas scared to fight.
But I commend them though. Both of them. Like even that Nate Robinson, even though he did get knocked out though, but I can't make fun of him for that because he still was man enough to get in the ring and throw the hands, even though he had no business being in there. Like, cause I don't really see what kind of like how much pride like Jake Paul gets out of this from beating a nigga up that don't box. Like you're doing this now for a living. Like you're trying to be a professional, so you're taking it more serious than he is. So how could you like take pride in beating up an average nigga when you know you can whoop his ass? That don't make sense.
Well, not to try to because I mean, we all know Nate from
basketball.
You know what I'm saying, from being in the NBA for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then like after he left the NBA, like I always wonder like where he was at, what he was doing, and there was like talk of him like joining like the NFL, and I was like, dang,
I heard about that too.
And he was doing the
NFL. Remember, he was doing the Big Three, the thing that
the
Ice Cube. He was on there for a little minute,
and then he was on there for a while, and I was like, oh, okay, that's where he is in his career. Mm-hmm. And then like I when I finally got confirmation that the Tyson and
Roy
Jones fight was happening when it was like 2-3 weeks ago. I was like, okay, well let me see when it start, and I ended up pulling the card up and realized that they had an undercard, and
they was on that card.
Yeah, they were on the undercard. Yeah.
Okay, because I never saw it. I never saw the fight live. I just seen like matter of fact, like one of my homies, he sent me the link of Nate Robinson getting knocked out. I'm like, bro, like, and then I'm like, I started laughing, but then I thought about it. They was like, buddy is an amateur boxer, so I'm like, I would expect that. Yeah. I expect that to happen.
Like I think it was 3 fights before the main event. So out of the 6 guys on the undercard, I only knew 2 of them. There was Badu Jack, who's he's well known to hardcore boxing fans. Like you really can't miss him. I want to say he's a middleweight.
I never heard of him.
If you don't watch him, you don't, because he hasn't been on he hasn't headlined a fight. So you would know him if you're not a fan of boxing. So the only names I knew was Badu Jack and Nate Robinson, and I was excited because I'm like, dang, Nate Robinson, the ball player finna be in the ring. I said, okay. I said, who he fighting? I'm like, Jake Paul. Like, I don't know who that is. I said, but I'm gonna watch that fight. And man, when that bell rang and that bell rang and he ran over to that dude like it was Mortal Kombat 4. I was like, man, I've never seen no boxer do what he just did.
I see him do MMA all the time though.
Yeah, that's MMA, because you can do a running punch, a running kick, a running anything. Yeah. But you don't, in boxing, you can't. It's about form and technique. You don't. That's just something you don't do. Like, that was a red flag for me. I was like, what is Nate doing? I was like, okay, maybe he just want to get him. You know what I'm saying? He want to get him against the rope. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, because like if a guy rush you, like nerves. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a test of your nerves, and if you are nervous, you know what I'm saying, you more nervous because it's like, oh man, I don't know what he finna do when he get over to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't even, he didn't even give me a chance to size him up. So I was like, okay, maybe he's just trying to put that mental pressure on him, like out the gate. And then when he got over there and started doing the mummy guard, I was like, oh, Nate,
that's some.
I was like, no.
Yeah. I used to see dudes still do that shit though. They still do it.
I was like, man.
He said the mummy guard.
I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I don't see him coming up out of this. I don't see him coming up out of this. But on the bright side, Spence did beat Garcia. Shout out to Danny Garcia though, because he is a great fighter. He did not get knocked out, nor did he get knocked down. And Spence put them hands on him, but Danny got some good body shots in too. Like I was looking at a lot of them shots. Yeah, they went all 12 rounds. Okay. This was Spence's first fight since his accident. I want to say like September or October. It was October last year. I remember because I remember seeing the headlines, and all I was thinking was, well, dang, is this man alive? Because I'm like, he got kids. He got like 2 little girls. So I was like, dang, is this man alive? So I read in a report where it said he was alive and he was at the hospital. He was stable and he had no broken bones. When they say he had no broken bones after that incident, if you watch the video, it's a movie-worthy car crash. This man's his Ferrari was totaled.
Was he speeding, or what happened? Because I remember it, but I don't remember any of the details. I just remember they said he got into an accident and that was it.
So apparently he had been out celebrating and he had some drinks and he decided to drive. And I was like, wow, damn, Spence, why would you do that? He drove himself while he was intoxicated, and I can't remember what the report said specifically. Like he jumped the curb or something like that, and he lost control of his vehicle and his car ended up flipping. He wasn't wearing his seatbelt, and that's how he got ejected out of the car. And it just had to be God's will that he wasn't even wearing it. You know what I'm saying? Because had he stayed in that car, he may have been injured, if not dead. Yeah. I mean, that car flipped fast and hard. It was, oh man.
Oh, you said they released the footage of that happening?
The car, yeah, because the crash was captured by like a street cam.
Okay. Because I've never seen that footage before, so
yeah, like it was. The crash was horrible. Like the video I saw, you don't see him eject from the car, but you're just thankful that he did because it's like, what if he would have stayed? What if he had his seatbelt on? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that, it just crazy. It's crazy. I've only heard of like one other person being ejected from a car during a car crash and surviving, and that story surprised me too because it's just like. I'm 5'7", 135. If I don't wear my seatbelt and I stop hard, I just know I'm going through that windshield. And if the windshield don't kill me on impact, I just know for a fact after I leave the vehicle, I'm like, I'm dead. Whatever I hit, I'm dead. So I'm just like, I don't see, you know what I'm saying? Just don't see how somebody surviving that. But thank God. Spence.
What was that movie about that though? It was another boxer. He got into a car wreck, and then it was I think it was something like Hispanic or Italian dude.
Vinny, I know about that was based on Vinny Paz. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that last name right. It's P-A-Z.
Was it called Bleed for this? Was that the name?
I don't think it was called Bleed. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, I know it was based on Vinny. Yeah, and he actually went back to box after that.
He did though. I think he won a couple more fights after that too though.
And his doctor was like, "No, you're done boxing." He was like, "You can't box." He was like, "You like his." Something was damaged so bad it wouldn't heal properly, and so his doctor was like, if you box, the next time you get hit, you are probably going to be dead. So you cannot box. I'm not signing off on it. And somehow, some way, that man got back in the ring and survived.
I remember watching it though. Like he was in his parents' basement, and his trainer was in there training him, and I think he got caught by like his father or his mother or somebody, and they just took it to heart. Like they just felt like disrespected because it's like they really didn't want to lose their son, which we can, you know, like I don't have any kids, but I can only imagine, like, you know, my son being hard headed off of some stuff like the doctor has told him not to do, but he's going the opposite way and doing it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, but luckily it didn't turn out, you know, in a negative way.
Right.
So,
Man, so
what else you got over here? You said something like, what is this about the cars?
man, so I'm a big fan of cars. I'm a big fan of cars. So much so that I even taught myself how to change my own oil. That was like back in 2016. I learned how to change oil, and I've been changing my own oil ever since. I have not had an oil change by a company or anybody else since 2016. But I mean, I ain't no millionaire. I ain't even 1,000 there. So, you know what I'm saying? I can't afford to have 2 and 5 cars. So, I collect Hot Wheels. That's what I do. That's how I feed that fetish. I collect Hot Wheels and just any other cars I feel are worth collecting. And I like to stay up to date with like what's happening with cars, just period. Because I like cars. I like to see what manufacturers are doing with them, how they making fast cars faster, how they making cool cars cooler. So story hit my phone because Google knows me so well.
They know everybody. They know everybody well.
So story hit my phone about a drug bust. I guess I can't. Usually the newscaster would say drug bust gone wrong, but I can't say that for the sheriff department. I guess you could say it was a drug bust gone right, because after the drug bust, they came up on a Dodge Charger Hellcat, and they now are gonna use it in their fleet. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
They seized it. That's what they did.
You seized the vehicle in the drug bust, and now you've added the vehicle to the fleet. That just don't sit right with me.
Why not? They do it all the time.
But
that's what they drive though. They drive Chargers now.
Would you have added the vehicle to the fleet were it an Altima, a Maxima, an Impala?
Yeah, some of the police stations, like all them cars you named, some of them they do legitimately have those cars.
Well,
maybe not the Nissan, but the
Impala. Actually, that Altima they do now. That new Altima, they do.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why, but some of them do. But
I don't know. But I would. Yeah, it's a free car at that point. Why not?
Because it's just like, I don't know, man. Like it's. Something about that just seemed wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what's funny is the nigga that it belonged to, and he's seeing somebody driving this shit. He's seeing a cop driving his car.
I know he gotta be salty.
My car? Oh, we gotta kill him.
He gotta be salty, man. It's just something about that, though. To me, it's just like, man, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Had it been a Hyundai Elantra, was you gonna add that to the fleet because you was down 2 cars? Nah, you would have impounded it, and that's where it would have stayed.
I think what they do is like, and that's true, but since those are the cars that they're using now, they take them, and especially if it's a drug dealer's car, you know they're gonna seize it. They're not giving it back to them, so it belongs to the police now.
Yeah, they
and so and like I guess the cars that, like you said, like the Elantra or whatever you said, is they'll seize them too, but they'll auction them off and get money, and then it'll go back, you know, and I guess to fund the police department itself for whatever they want to do with it.
What y'all need a Hellcat? Do you know how many horses are in a Hellcat?
Hey, they gotta ensure niggas ain't getting away. Hey, that's what it's for. It don't matter.
That's crazy to me. One thing I don't really like police, but I want to talk to one because I want to know. You know what? I just realized I could talk to my cousin because he actually he's a mechanic and he works on police cars.
Okay.
So I'll just talk to him instead. But like, I'm always curious when I see a police vehicle, and instead of like a vehicle number or just a number that seems very random, the license plate reads HP 597 or HP 1071, and I'm just like, there's no way in the world Because I've actually seen police vehicles whose license plate reached HP 1071, and for those that don't know, like HP is short for horsepower, and I'm just like, it's no way in the world this Ford Explorer is outfitted with 1,000+ horses under the hood.
See, that's what you just put me on something. I've never even paid attention to the license plate, and I didn't know what that stood for.
I'm just like, there's no way. You not telling me that a police vehicle that's driven daily is just cruising on the street with 1,000 horses.
Yeah.
Dodge isn't pushing out any car with 1,000 horses from the manufacturer, and they pushing out the most horsepower.
It's like maybe like 800
that you getting from any sports vehicle. You know, well, not any. No, let me take that back. Not any sports vehicle, but from what do they call them? What they? I can't think of the category that they put their cars in, as far as like affordability. Even though I don't really think when you get to the Hellcats that they're like super affordable to, you know, like the average person.
No,
a car that costs
what's that like 50? Is it, you said 60?
Like which one is 60? The Hellcat. Okay, yeah, the Hellcats are around 60K.
Yeah, okay.
When you look at the Demon, you're looking at 80K. When you look at that,
that's the step above the Hellcat.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the one. That's the Challenger. The Challenger is the Demon, and it's outfitted.
No, they got a Hellcat Challenger.
No, they do have well, that's what I was talking about. The Challenger, like no. What I'm saying is like the Demon is it has the Challenger is the only one that goes above the Hellcat trim. Like it has the Demon, the Hellcat. The Challenger Demon is the Dodge vehicle with the most horsepower from the manufacturer.
And what is that like? Capped off like 850, 900?
I can't even remember. I haven't looked it up in a while because I know it's different from when the car originally debuted in like 2018, which is when I think it debuted. Dang, I can't remember because wait a minute. Because I want to say the Hellcats when they debuted, they were advertising those with 797 horsepower.
That sounds about right.
So the Demon has 807. I think the Demon is 807.
So 100 more horsepower than the.
No, it's like that would be like.
Cause you said 707, right? And you said that one is 807.
Was it 707? 707 sounds familiar too. Damn, it might have been. Oh, they might have been 707 when that Hellcat debuted, and then I think they cranked them up to 797 in recent years. But I'm pretty sure that the Demon is coming from the factory with 807.
I think, like, when I think about it now, it kind of does make sense because if you're a police officer and you in that Hellcat, you wouldn't need over 1,000 horsepower to catch a nigga that's on the highway. Because when his average car is probably doing maybe 150 at the most. On top, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It don't make sense. And then the police that's driving it, all of them probably ain't really suited to drive a car that's like that.
Yeah, like you need to learn how to drive. Like,
exactly. That's a lot of power, man.
If I had a Lamborghini, that doesn't by default make me the most skilled driver in my neighborhood or in my city. Like,
exactly.
Because if I don't know how to drive it, I'm gonna be trash, and I'm most likely gonna crash in a high speed pursuit. So
gonna be roadkill out there.
So yeah, having all that horsepower doesn't do you no good. And like to that comment where you were like them trying to take off and catch somebody that's doing like 150 when they sit on the side of the road. Mm-hmm. You having like 1,000 horsepower, but only having like 200 pounds of torque is not gonna help. Cause like when it comes to like torque is what like gets you off the line.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Cause like the more torque you have. And this is still kind of confusing to me because I have a difficulty defining what torque is, but torque is like the twisting force created by the engine, and that twisting force is what propels, what pushes the wheels so that they spin, and then the car is now in motion. Okay. The engine and the components within the engine are what create the horsepower. and the horsepower is then transferred into the torque. I believe. I think that's like the simple way of putting it.
It makes sense.
So, having a lot of horsepower doesn't equate to speed if you don't have the torque to match. So, it's a give take relationship. You really can't have one without the other. You shouldn't. It's kind of like guys that skip leg day. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, like, okay, you done beefed up this engine. It's got 800 horses in it, but you still got 250 torque from the manufacturer. So, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna beat you off the line in my WRX every time because I got, you know what I'm saying, 350 pounds of torque per square foot. So,
and it's a lighter car on top of that. If you're specifically talking about like the Challenger or the Demon, because I think like that Challenger weighs.
They average that. I think the Charger averages at like 36. I think that's like the base model. I think the base model is like between like 34 and 3,600 pounds. And then as you go up in trim, they only get heavier.
I think like at least aesthetically, I think the ones from the models from like 2014 and like 2015 look better than the current ones. Because the current ones, like the lights on the back, they look more futuristic. They look cool, but the front of it, it don't really look all like. Basically, what I'm saying is like the earlier versions of the car look more masculine than the current ones that they have right now. They look better to me.
I felt the same way when the current body design dropped. I didn't like those headlights. I didn't like those. It wasn't aggressive enough for me. I was like, I don't
like the front of the car.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like it still looks cool, but it looks a little weird.
Like honestly, like it was like the whole thing. Cause like even the tail lights, like they seemed like they slammed them up. And to me, like when the Dodge Charger first got reimagined after, I think it was 2014, because 2015 is when I believe we got like this current body design.
One? Yeah.
So like when it first dropped, I would confuse like the new Charger with the Dart, because to me the tail lights.
I forgot about that.
They were so similar to me, like I couldn't tell one from the other until I pulled on the side of it, and I didn't like it. I was like, man, it seems real girly to me. Like it's grown on me. I like it now. But I do see your point. I did agree with you. I did. You want to put on the show? So
let's wrap it up like the last 10 minutes.
I got you. So that being the case, I guess it's 2020. It's 2020. It's been a crazy year. Everything has been uprooted by COVID. The way we move, the way we shop is different. It's crazy. It's been crazy. Like going to the store can be a pain in the butt. I'm really getting sick of wearing a mask now. Like at first I thought it was real cool. First I was cool with it. I'm like, okay, can't nobody see my face. That's what's up. Then after a while it just became real tedious. I'm like, okay. I want to breathe. I'm tired of wearing this mask. I'm tired of.
It ain't. I be getting pissed off. I get to the entrance of the door, and I see they got the sign with the mask. Like, fuck! I forgot my mask in the car, and I gotta go back and get it. I'm like, oh my god.
I know, bro.
It's a hassle, man.
I know, man. It's tedious, man. I don't have to wear one all day because I work by myself.
Yeah, true.
But I do have to wear one when I go in get my paperwork and stuff before I hit my route. I try to make that a real quick interaction, but they always want me to stay in there for a meeting where they say the same thing every day, and I'm just like, look, man, do you want me to get this route up, or do you want me to go home? the choice is yours.
Yeah, I think like that's like the best benefit about our jobs. Like you don't really have like anyone looking over your shoulder. You know, they entrust you to do what it is they need you to do. You do it to the best of your ability. You come back, and that's it.
I will. You gonna have to speak for yourself because they looking over my shoulder and they looking me in the face all day.
Okay.
We got cameras on our truck.
Oh well, I mean, eventually, I'm pretty sure they're gonna get to that point where every company, like, if you drive a vehicle, is going to get to that point. I'm pretty sure of it. Because, like, now, like, I'm going to just say that for the next episode. I ain't gonna spoil it. I ain't gonna spoil it.
I guess, man, how has COVID affected you the most? Like, how has it changed your way of living this year?
I would say the majority of it has just come from the unknown. Just like people you're around, you don't know if you have it, you don't know if they have it, and it just creates, like, for some people it can kind of create like a certain trauma, like to where you don't even, like, you don't want to go to work, you don't want to be around people at all. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't, like, it's for some people you don't even want to be around your friends or your own family, and that's just not because you don't fuck with them. It's just more so because you don't want to end up being affected by it.
True.
And that's why I say it's the unknown, because you don't know unless you get tested frequently, then you won't know.
True. Like it's. I think a lot of the uncertainty comes with what we know about it and what we don't know about it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people didn't know what it was. It was crazy because if you weren't paying attention to the media, you were oblivious to what was going on overseas, and you were definitely oblivious to it when it first hit the U.S. because I was hearing about it, but I didn't really hear about it until maybe March or April, and
I think that's when it like truly took off.
And when at that point in time, I can't remember, were people getting furloughed at that time?
You said were they getting what?
I was trying to think if I recall, were people like getting laid off around that time, and I don't
really
your job? Remember. Well, no, nobody at my job was getting furloughed.
Oh, okay.
Like we've been working throughout this entire pandemic, which is a blessing for my family.
Right.
It was a curse for my mental health and my morale, because I've needed a break from there, man. I've needed a break, and I still need a break from that place, man. So it would have been nice to get some type of break, because I never thought that we would be out of work for long, but with the way it was taken off, I was for sure that we were gonna have at least 2 days off, at least like 2 unscheduled days off. You know what I'm saying, for government to try to figure things out. But because we are in an industry that is so in demand with trash, that never stops. Because regardless of the pandemic, trash never stopped. People never stopped throwing crap away. They actually start throwing more stuff away, because I start hearing about the guys that were on trash routes complaining that they were picking up way more, so their days got longer.
Because everybody, more people are at home now. You can't go anywhere, so that's the whole thing. It's crazy.
The kids was at home eating all the snacks that was supposed to be for the weekend, and now they gone by Thursday, and you mad, and shoot, it's crazy, and I'm not seeing it at this point, but people have been. By the time I got on the trash route, a lot of people had returned to work. But when I knew like that this was like serious was when traffic changed. When traffic lightened up, I was like, oh, they're really sending people home.
I remember that. For like the first couple months.
When there was no traffic jams at 5 o'clock on 270, man. I was like, what? I was like, wow, so this real.
Exactly.
This is not for play. I said, okay.
When that first wave hit though, bro, they was like, you gotta be at the crib. You gotta be in. And then they lightened up because they needed people to come out and spend money.
They needed people to go to work. They needed to stimulate the economy. They were like, so y'all just not gonna spend no money? They like,
no, we can't have this. This is unacceptable.
They like, nigga, I'm broke.
I can't eat. Nigga. That's how people was though, for real.
That's how it was though, man. Like I am grateful that I was able to work. I do wish that I was able to take a break, man, because I just
working on 12-hour shifts. That ain't no joke.
Gosh, man. And it's like
it is mandatory on top of that. And
it didn't stop, man. It didn't stop. It only got worse, man. And I wasn't even on trash, and it got worse. I was getting up. The crazy thing was, like, my job, the culture of my job is, okay, you finish the route assigned to you. Mm-hmm. Okay, now we need you to go help somebody else so they can finish their route. Because the goal is to get everybody's route done, finished, and at least headed back to the base by 5 o'clock. They don't want you on the route at 5 o'clock. Yeah.
That's hella early though.
For two reasons.
Oh, okay.
2 reasons. You've been on the route for at the least you've been on the route 8 hours minimum, because there's 3 different departments at my job. You got commercial, roll off, and residential. I work in residential, and then you have very time starting times. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go in, I'm supposed to attend a 5:10 meeting, right? And then I can't even tell you what my official route start time is supposed to be, because my supervisors never told me. We'll get into that next time. They never told me, so I usually get on my routes about, like, if I'm on time to work, then I can get on my routes, depending on which part of the city they in, between 6 and 6:30. Will be my start time. Like if I'm out here in North County, I can get out here. Like 6:15, 6:20. But if it's South County, it's usually gonna be like 6:30.
Okay.
So yeah, you got all these varying start times, and then you have certain cities where it's written in the contract that we cannot start servicing them until a certain time. So we have cities like Crestwood and I believe Wildwood, where you can't start picking up trash, recycle yard waste, or whatever until 7 a.m.
On the dot.
On the dot, no early, because you can be fined if you start early, because it's written in the contract.
Right.
I think that's stupid, because you're forcing and you're penalizing somebody that was there at 6 or 5:30 to start at that time, and you know what I'm saying, where they could have started like 30 minutes to an hour early, and they would have been done that much sooner in their route and been able to go home and relax. Because if I have to be at the job, that means I had to get up at least an hour beforehand to get up and get ready.
Yeah.
I have to allow myself travel time. So I'm probably up. Really. Exactly. So I'm probably up 2 hours. Me personally, my alarm's going off at 3:40 a.m. so I can get there at 5:10.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
So I get there at 5:10, and then I finish my route. I might finish my route at 12 or 1 or 2, and then you're saying, hey, can you go check on this guy? Or, hey, this customer says you missed this. Can you go run this errand? Go blah 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 blah. Like it never stops. Like it's a never ending story of we need you to pick this up, and it gets tiresome. So what was a 8-hour day has now become a 12-hour day, all because we need you to go help this guy, or we need you to go get this because his customer said you weren't there at this time, and you're like, I was there. You talking about the customer with the purple Jeep and the red camo, the only one in the city? Like, I was there at 17. Yeah, but you didn't text your dispatcher, so, because we can't prove it to them, you got to go back. And it's tedious. This is real tedious. It's real tedious. Real tedious, man. So, that's why I was hoping to get a break from there. Hopefully, man, not hopefully. I'm really gonna get back into the things that interest me. This being one of those key things that interest me now, but art as well. I really want to get into the storytelling aspects. Because ultimately I want to own an animation company and produce my own animation.
That's dope.
That's what I want to do.
That's dope. Like, I had the same thoughts because I was like, I'm not necessarily owning the thing, but just like creating like a black anime or something like that, because you don't really see them at all, really. Like, only one I've truly seen was like Afro Samurai, which was dope. It was dope, but I wanted to be. That was pretty much like 2 movies. But they broke them down in episodes.
No. But there was a season or 2 seasons, and then there were 2 movies.
I thought they broke the seasons down from the movie. That's what I thought that they did.
Nah, they actually had like 2 movies because, like, you know, like his dad died in the first episode.
He got killed,
and then like he was resurrected in a movie by one of the villains.
By the dude with the guns, right?
No, not by him. Like when Afro killed him, he was dead. Like his Afro's dad was resurrected by some other villain whose name I can't recall.
Okay.
But yeah, so
the scientist dudes.
Yeah, so it was 2 legit movies, and I can't remember the exact number of seasons. It was no more than 3. I really think it was only 2, but it was great, and that style was so dope. Like that art style was.
And I know the Boondocks isn't technically an anime, but it's still, you know, it's for our people.
Right.
At the same time, and it's hilarious.
So, and it's a classic. It's a cult classic right there.
I want them to come out with more seasons. I thought they was in the works of doing it, but it just never came. It just never came to be.
Yeah, I thought they was doing something. I thought they were supposed to be doing some type of reboot, but
then
with John Witherspoon passing, you know, how do you replace John Witherspoon, man?
It's hard to replace him, and not saying that he is replaceable, but if I was to put somebody in that role of Pops, I would put that guy that was actually like a co-host with him, and I would put him. I forget his name, his real life name, but the dude that played Uncle Elroy.
Oh, okay.
He would be like the next perfect fit for that, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see how you could, bring Granddad, take Granddad out the picture and then bring in this other relative, right, and he be that relative. Because
if you don't replace him with necessarily Granddad, you could just write him in as Uncle Elroy, and then now they live with their uncle now, and their uncle probably going to be, obviously, it's going to be a little, no, because their uncle would be around the same age as their Granddad, because they would end up being brothers. So yeah.
Oh man, let's. I know you said you want to wrap this up because you keep getting that call. We were talking about how COVID has affected us, and I know you did. I give my reason?
No, you did. Well, you kind of did, but you can go just a little bit.
Because I was just talking about how I wanted to break from work. Other than that, I mean, as far as my daily life is concerned, it doesn't affect me a whole lot until I need to go to a store, because then I gotta throw a mask on. But I just keep a couple in the car. But I did worry about my kids for a while, because it was like, well, Dad, like they keep talking about, adults and things like that, like, but viruses and contagions don't discriminate against kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, so. Well, what's to stop them from getting it? You know what I'm saying? And then with me, my daughter's not even 1 yet, so I was thinking about her as well. Like, man, my daughter just got her. You know what I'm saying? Like, her immune system isn't it is an experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is it gonna fight this off when it's killing full-grown adults that are supposed to be healthy? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just so crazy. And then, like, I got hit with my son is 5, and he was supposed to start school this year. And then his mom, like, when COVID happened, I was like, oh, well, I was hearing about most schools wouldn't be returning. And then when I got news here that a lot of schools in St. Louis would not be doing, like, in-person classes and they wouldn't be returning, I was like, well, I guess I don't have to worry about him going to school. Right. And then his mom, hit me up and was like, hey, well, I want to talk to you about him going to school. And I was like, wait a minute, what you mean going to school? Like, COVID.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, yeah, they're not doing, like, nobody's really doing, like, in-person classes, but he can, like, do online. So I wanted to know, like, did you, you know what I'm saying? She just wants to get my input on, like, was I cool with enrolling him in the Hazelwood School District and things like that. So I had to, when 1 minute I thought I didn't have to worry about it, she made me realize, okay, I do have to still worry about this. And, you know what I'm saying, this is something that we have to deal with. It just works out in our benefit because she is a teacher, so she's not in the classroom. You know what I'm saying? So she's working from home. Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's what's up. That's what's up.
So she works from home, so he stays home with her while he's on Zoom, you know, in class, and she's on Zoom teaching class. So that works out. So
that's pretty legit though. So either way it goes, at least, you know what I'm saying, for your son, he's getting like the best education because he has a stay-at-home parent that's a teacher.
One would think. I don't know what's taking place per se, because we really try to keep communication between her and I to a minimum because it's just best for our cohesion if we do. Okay. So we only try to talk about like what's absolutely necessary. So like as far as like what she does with him as far as that's concerned, we don't really get into the specifics of that. But
you would be able to tell though.
Yeah. I can
like
tell.
if you were to like, you know, ask him can he spell his name? Can he count to, you know, such and such?
Mm-hmm.
You know, his ABCs and like, you know, certain pronunciations. You could see if he's actually learning something, if he's benefiting from that.
And I mean, before the school year, you know, was canceled, he was going to pre-K. So he was learning. He did learn how to spell his name there and how to count up to. I think. Well, I don't know what their goal was, but once I heard him count up to 30, and I was surprised because previously I had only really heard him count up to like 11, and then like a couple visits down the line, he was counting to 30, and this was like over the summer, and I was like, okay, well look at you.
Yeah.
And this past week she had me help him out with some word recognition, and out of like maybe 15, 20 words I showed him, I only had to stop and help him on 2 words, and that's only because he was guessing. He looked at it and he guessed, and I kind of think he did it to be funny, because like he looked at the word, then he looked at me with one of those "I'm pulling your leg" faces. Mm-hmm. Like he looked at the word, then he looked at me and kind of smiled to the side, and it was like it was a 2-letter word, and he recited a 4-letter word, and I had to look at it because I didn't know. I was pulling the cards, and I looked, and I was like,
"Yeah, like, you know what this is."
Look at that. What's that first letter?
Yeah.
I. What's that second letter? S. What's that word? Is. I said, okay, stop playing with me, man. Yeah. So
I don't know why, but like when you just said that, I got like a flashback of what's that movie from Good Burger? And Ed, he was reading the contract. He was like, I know some of these words. Hey, man, that's probably like the best like Nickelodeon movie of all time, bro.
Hey, that movie is a childhood classic. That's a good movie, man.
Oh, man. I know some of these words. That's a classic line from that movie, man.
Dude. You asked for a burger with nothing on it. That's what I gave you.
Well, I expected a meat patty.
Dude, a meat patty is something. You asked for nothing. That was...
He said, I'll see you in heaven. He's like, okay, I'll see you there.
And they let it. Hey, it trips me out as an adult that they let that man say that.
But back in the day, like the world, it wasn't soft how it is.
It wasn't, but at the same time, this was a Nickelodeon project. You know what I'm saying?
Facts,
and even though hell isn't necessary, it's not what I would define as vulgar. Right. It still wasn't something that you heard on any previous Nickelodeon program.
It wasn't. But you think about it though, they had Pamela Anderson in there.
But Pamela Anderson was in Good Burger?
Yeah, that was a white chick. She was trying to have sex with Ed. to get the secret sauce.
Oh, she was
that
the
was her. Yeah,
oh, that's
that
who
was
it was.
That was her.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, when I think about, it, I'm like, that is kind of, you know,
wow.
a little risque, if you will.
That was, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I heard somebody say, you have to, when you think about it, kids aren't taking themselves to the movies. Their parents are taking them. And if their parents got to sit through 90 minutes of animation,
that is true.
You got to give them something to enjoy, too.
But the movie was...
and that's, as a kid, stuff like that go over your head.
It do, though. I wasn't thinking about that. I knew the hell part. You know what I'm saying? Just from, you know, like growing up in the Christian household, man. I knew about that. But
that brother was pissed.
Man, hey.
Oh, I'll see you in hell.
Okay. See you there. Look at that.
Man. Oh, man. And because I'm a car nerd, I just have to say, like, when I watched that movie and I saw that car that I can't even think of what his character's name was. And
you said who?
I can't even think of what the character's name was that he hit Sinbad's car, and that's why he got the job at Good Burger to pay for the damage. Wasn't Ed?
No, Ed. I know it wasn't Ed.
I can't think of his name, and I can't. And when it comes to Kenan and Kel, he was Kenan, wasn't he? He's on Saturday Night Live.
Right. His real name is Kenan.
Oh, that's his real name.
I believe so.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever his character was,
because Kel, that's both of their names. That's their real names. I think his real name is Kel Mitchell.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay.
And then I don't know his Kenan's last name, but I do believe that his name is really Kenan.
Okay, so Kenan, that car that the car that he was driving when he hit Sinbad's car, just a fun fact I want to throw out there because I know now was a Nissan. I want to say it was a 300ZX.
What year though?
Ooh, I want to say 96.
Probably that sounds about right.
I want to say that was 96.
That sounds about right.
And it's one thing to see it like on the little Hot Wheel packaging, but like to see that mug in its heyday, I'm like, ooh, that mug was fire.
That man, let me see. He said, "Let me see your driver's license, and your registration." He was like, "I don't have it." And
who was that? Oh, that was Marcus Houston in the whip.
Yeah,
he got ghost on him ASAP.
He said, "Oh no!" Bit the corner on his ass. He gone.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. That was a good movie. Right?
Like that's a movie I can watch right now as an adult and still get a laugh out of it.
Man, it'd be like if Nickelodeon partnered with Disney and put their content on Disney Plus too, that would be fire.
They never do that though.
Nah,
they never do that.
Well, that's because they would have to split their revenue.
That's what I'm saying.
Because like Nickelodeon had some classes like. A couple years ago, I was watching Rocko's Modern Life, and it was on. I can't remember what it was on, but it was like a rerun airing on some station, and I'm sitting there watching it, and there were like some adult innuendos in there too, and I was like,
it was, cause that's like Ren and Stimpy too.
I wasn't really a fan of that.
That shit was hilarious.
But I remember I saw a meme a couple years ago, and it was like, so we was really watching Rocko's Modern Life, and he was and he really had a job as a sex phone operator. And he really did, cause it was one episode he was looking for a job. He was looking for a job, and it was one of them episodes where the character is trying to accomplish a goal, and they go through various scenarios where they try and fail. So he was on various jobs trying and failing, and he was a sex phone operator. But of course, they never came out and said it. But he was on the phone talking to somebody, and he was reading the script. I can't remember what he said to her, but he was like, "Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby," and then you could just hear the lady on the other end. It was so funny,
bro. Like they used to throw little jabs in there every now and again, though. But
that was a great show. That show was funny. Like I could watch that show and die laughing right now. Like Rocko was hilarious.
Like I think I haven't like. Looked at SpongeBob in a long time, but like when I was a kid, like the early episodes was funny as shit.
Me and Bonson would come to school and just be like, "Hey, you seen that episode of SpongeBob?" Nigga, I love SpongeBob, man.
I think it was what was that shit? I think like the funniest episode I can remember was the
smoking peanut.
Nah. when they was cussing, when they had found out they found they found out the bad words on the back of a trash can, bro. That shit was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
Man, that smoking peanut has got to be in my like funniest. It's probably in my top 5. It was the episode they were going to see that giant clam, and the clam was in her habitat, not doing nothing. And then SpongeBob threw the peanut at her, and then she started panicking, and then just started crying and wouldn't stop crying. And he thought she was crying because he threw the peanut. And then Patrick was on the case trying to figure out what really happened.
I think, I remember some of that.
And the nigga, and SpongeBob thought he was hot on his trails, and then Patrick was like, SpongeBob, I'm so close to solving this crime. And then the camera cut to Patrick with his mouth like this close to SpongeBob's face, or what looked like SpongeBob's face, and he was like, I'm so close to solving this crime. I can almost taste it. Yeah. He licked them, and then the camera panned out, and it was a sponge. It was a popsicle that looked like SpongeBob.
Oh, okay.
But it was so funny because it was like, this nigga wildin', bro. Like, what is he on? But man, that show was funny. It's crazy that like the creator that came out and said he gay now. Like that.
Yeah.
I was boggled by that.
It was like, I think it was only one episode where you could see like maybe some homosexual shit in there, where they was like with the clam, and SpongeBob was the mother and Patrick was the father. I think that was like the only episode where I can like say it was something like some weird stuff going on. But other than that, I didn't really see anything.
It's funny. We can break that down, and we actually should break that down on the next episode, man. We gonna have to break that down on the next episode. We ain't gonna get into that, man. Alright. So, cause we about to approach 2 hours. So, okay. That being said, man, this has been the first episode of a show that is not yet titled. I'm here with DeMarco. He ain't gave me no answer yet on co-hosting with me for the near future, but we gonna talk to him, man. We gonna see what we can make happen, man. We will have special guests on the show. I think we were supposed to have a special guest on tonight's show.
Yeah, but it's kind of
it's late now, man. It's late now. So we definitely going to have special guests will be on the show. We will do our best to we gonna get this out to you. I'm gonna get this guys to you like I said I would, and we are going to see how this all pans out, see how we can engage with you guys. Hopefully you guys really like it. We didn't really stick with the segments, but then again, this was the first episode, and we were really trying to it was important for us to do like introductions and let you know how the show is supposed to go and what the intentions are with the show. So that being said, we are signing out, and we will catch you next time.
Peace.